So pretty. You look pretty.
How's my makeup?
Very good.
Good?
Cheeks rosy.
Yeah.
Everything about you looks wonderful.
I got some kind of adhesive in my beard. Why don't you go and make something out of yourself like your brother down at the Walmart Tire Center? He got out of the trailer park. Here you sit. Mm-hmm. Greetings, one and all. We're here today to talk to you about our favorite farming implement, also known as a pest removal device.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep, so shotguns. What they are not, how to use them, when to use them, and why. Everything you wanted to know, but we're afraid to ask. Not really everything, because I'm not a ballistics dude. Yeah. But if I could only pick one thing, this will be the thing.
One firearm for sure.
Yep, this will be it. Like it will kill anything from a chipmunk all the way up to a grizzly bear.
It will barely kill a chipmunk with the right load at the right range, and it will kill the polar bear.
Yep.
Which is, you can't say that about anything else, really.
And the unsavory bipeds as well. The
bipedal pests as well. That's right. Yeah, if I could only pick one firearm, it would have to be a shotgun. It would most likely be this Mossberg 500.
Actually, I believe they are referred to as a fowling piece.
Fowling piece?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite.
Actually. Yeah, but I would almost certainly pick this one because it's just so versatile. From the different rounds that you can put in it, the different size shot that you can put in it, to the interchangeable choke that I can put on it for different ranges and applications. It just gets the job done for just about every purpose.
So what do you have there? Is that a 500?
This is a Mossberg 500.
Okay.
Yep.
I notice it's ported.
Yep, it's ported. It's a 24-inch barrel. And when I was selecting a shotgun, I wanted something to be as versatile as possible. Yeah. I could get a 28-inch long, 30-inch, whatever it is, barrel for, fowling, whatever it may be, fowling piece. I could get an 18.5-inch barrel for home defense. Or I could find something kind of that happy medium that kind of serves all of those purposes. And if you just had to have one gun that could serve as many purposes as possible, I feel like I've gotten pretty doggone close with this one.
Yeah, I got to admit, I mean, this is the one I actually carry around the homestead, and it's the same as yours.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's a Mossberg 500, which I have kryloned, and I got some pantyhose out of the drawer. Not my pantyhose. Yeah. Hers. Yeah. But I put that over my shells that I have here so that we don't get the glint, like if you are hunting or whatever with it. Yeah.
Well, I did the same thing. I stole Alan's idea, but not necessarily for the lack of shine, to get rid of the shine, but because I got tired of losing shells. If you use these elastic shell holders on the stock,
they will slack out.
Occasionally you can get a shell. It won't do it now that I'm talking about it.
Only if you're doing somersaults.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Occasionally you'll get a shell that falls out, and that's pretty irritating, especially the slugs. They'll do that. But if you put something over here as a keeper, they don't fall out anymore. And I spent the entire weekend hiking, climbing, going through really thick brush, rhododendron thickets and whatnot, and didn't lose a single shell the whole time. So that little tactic there actually works pretty well.
I notice you have slings. I have a sling as well. I think a sling is an essential thing, because when I'm working around here, there's a significant amount of acreage, so I'm usually doing things with my hands, so I will sling this across my back so that it comes with me, and if I get down there and the need arises, I have something. But the one that I use is called a claw, or a claw if you're from the north, or a claw if you're from New York. Yeah. But I call it a claw. And I guess it's because it has this ability to not slide around when it's on your clothes.
It's got that kind of a silicone-y, tacky kind of feel to it.
Yeah. And so what I had to do is I did a piece of 550 cord here. I had to elongate that because it wouldn't go around my manly frame. It was probably made for...
You're a bit girthy.
Like some Chinese people, or like little short Guatemalans or something. But yeah, I did have to put an extender on there. Yeah. But it works like a charm. And other than that, I haven't done anything to it. I mean, it's...
Some Krylon touch?
Yeah, I did paint it. I mean, they're not broke, so I don't feel like I need to fix them. I do have, and have had in the past, the Remington 870s, but I just don't like the safety on the trigger guard. I like this Tang safety here because it's ambidextrous if you're shooting right or left-handed,
Right.
which you should practice both ways.
Yeah.
Your thumb's always there, you know?
That was a key reason, that safety on the Mossberg is on the thumb there. That's the key reason why I selected the Mossberg over an 870 as well, because I'm a predominantly left-handed shooter.
Yeah.
And the trigger safety, if you're a left-handed shooter, you know what I'm talking about, is always kind of a pain in the neck. You got to reach with your right hand to disengage the safety, and having that right there is a no-brainer. Perfect. I use this for turkey hunting, deer hunt. I killed a deer a couple weeks ago with this, with a slug. I've killed turkeys with this, squirrels, pretty much every game animal around here I have killed with this. 100% legal in all states to do that, and that's another big feature that's a good thing to have for a shotgun, is because it's legal even in like more urban, I guess not urban, but suburban type areas where shotgun only is allowed. You can use the shotgun. Sometimes that's a factor to consider. Yeah.
I know around here, when you think about where we live, you know, you really can't see that far.
Right.
You know, on this property, the longest shot,
yeah.
you know, is, and it's rare, you know, 100 yards maybe. And
Yeah.
you get off into the woods, you get in laurel thickets and things like that. The average range, like how far were you when you killed your deer last week?
20 yards.
That's what it is, like 30 yards is my
Yeah.
experience. That's about the average. Sometimes it's 50, might be as long as 70. Oftentimes it's as close as 15, 20, 25.
Right on,
know,
yeah.
Which that's where a shotgun really shines.
Yeah.
I notice you have this one.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite shotguns. I really like this one a lot just because the simplicity of it, and it weighs, I mean, what do you think that weighs? Hold that.
This is what I grew up on, just a single barrel, you know, break shotgun.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Less than 5 pounds probably, right?
Kill anything in the woods. Oh yeah, yeah. That's
yeah, it's
probably,
really like,
right.
I cut the barrel down on that one. It had a 28-inch long barrel. I cut it down to 22. So it just makes it a little bit easier to carry through the thick woods and whatnot. The only downside is now it's a cylinder bore choke as opposed to a modified choke.
Super simple.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of moving stuff going on there. I have seen the trigger mechanism, something in there goes snap.
Yeah.
I had one when I was a kid, and I would hold the hammer back, and to fire it, I would let the hammer go.
Yeah.
It was defective, but it still worked.
It still gets the job done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this little shotgun. The simple 1-inch webbing for a sling on it. Easy to carry.
Easy
really
to take down.
Super easy to clean. It's like nothing.
Like you can take that. One advantage to that over these pumps is you can take that down really quickly and
one screw.
Stick it in a backpack.
Yeah, one screw and it's in 2 pieces. It's a takedown. It is a takedown just by its very design.
Yeah.
Real easy to clean. I've cleaned this one with a piece of paracord and a bundle of steel wool. Just run it down the barrel, you know, like a boar snake. And it works really, really well. Or just a piece of cotton t-shirt or something.
Yeah, I cleaned this one the other day, and I don't really clean my pumps as often as probably I should.
Yeah.
Because they're just so forgiving.
You can force them even when they're dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really not too finicky.
Yeah, yeah. The semi-autos I've seen. The only reason I haven't switched over to a semi-auto is I've seen them fail too many times. I've seen them jam up because they're not using the right load or whatever. They're picky. Yeah. You know, and this is not picky. You can put. Yep. Well, the only thing you can't shoot out of this is the 3.5-inch magnums. But honestly, I don't really have a need for 3.5-inch magnums other than to celebrate freedom. That's pretty much it.
If I lived in Alaska, maybe. I might
for
carry
big,
that.
or if you're shooting birds at high altitude, that could be a thing. Right. But for the most part, a 3-inch Magnum is going to get the job done on everything. 2 3/4 will get the job done on just about everything. Yeah.
So what do you think the limitations are to a shotgun? We know what they are. I mean, they're basically close range weapons. I think they shine at that. They do really well. Yeah. A lot of people use them for home defense because of the ranges inside of a home or
always close.
Immediately around your home are just perfect for a shotgun. And they are a little bit forgiving, but there's kind of some misconceptions too. People are like, you don't even have to aim. You can just aim in the general direction.
Yeah, at 10 yards, you have to aim. At 10 yards, it's hitting. Even Birdshot is going to be hitting, even out of cylinder bore, no choke down barrel, it's going to be shooting a really, really tight pattern. So you still kind of have to aim a bit.
Yep. And if you practice with slugs, you can extend that range out quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm confident to 100 yards with a slug. Anything further than that, I'm not quite sure at what's going on as far as elevation, as far as what the slug's going to drop, or windage or anything like that. But out to 100, pretty confident I can whack something with
And these are smooth bore, correct?
Yeah, no
Mine
rifling.
is, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the rifles. I mean, just buy a rifle. If you're going to do the rifled barrels.
I carry slugs on the back, and the slugs actually have the rifling on them for this, which helps to stabilize it a little bit in flight.
Yeah, that's something else we could talk about is round selection. So I typically, when this thing is at home, I keep it loaded with Buckshot. It's full with Buckshot and nothing in the chamber, but I keep the tube full of Buckshot. But on the sleeve here, I have 2 slugs and 3 number 4s, I believe. No, these are 7.5s actually, but usually I keep number 4s or 6s in here, just Birdshot. So 3 Birdshot, 2 slugs, and 5 Buckshot in the tube, and that will handle pretty much any problem that I'm going to have at home.
That's interesting. I have almost the same thing. I have 3 slugs.
Yep.
I have 1 high brass number 6 Fiocchi and 1 low brass number 7.5.
Yeah, so pretty much almost exactly the same kind of setup. I mean, you keep Buckshot in the tube?
I do. Currently, I'm running the Fiocchi, and I alternate between number 4 and double alt depending on what I'm doing, you know. Yeah. They work pretty well. I find around the homestead a lot of times there's a lot of utility in just a low brass number 7.5, the cheapest of the cheap.
Yeah, just the practice
that does
rounds.
so many things. Yeah, you know.
At close range, even at close range,
it's still one ragged hole.
Oh yeah, yeah. At 10 yards, a human being will not be able to take a 7.5-inch Birdshot round. It won't go well.
I wouldn't want to be shot at by one.
No, I wouldn't want to experiment on that. Yeah, when I hunt, when I'm doing, let's say if I'm kind of opportunistic style hunting, whether I want to take deer or small game, what I will typically do is keep 4 Birdshot number 6 usually in the tube and 1 slug ready to go, or 5 in the tube and 1 in the chamber if I'm walking around with it ready to go. I'll keep the slug in there, and if I see a big game like deer, the slug's ready to go, and I don't have to make any noise by trying to rechamber a different round or anything like that. I can be real stealthy about it. But if I see a squirrel, I can just eject that slug and be ready to rock.
Your camouflage pattern, I was just noticing, actually has
acorns in it.
Yeah,
that's right.
You've got to get a close up of that.
We will.
Who does that? I've not seen that one.
Isn't that nice?
Is that a type of real tree or something?
Yeah, I don't know. This is factory. This came on the shotgun. Yeah.
That, just to keep the shells in place, is a
when you need
big
it,
deal.
It's just boom, boom, you know, that quick.
Yep, that's a big deal. I like that a lot. And these are the acorns that Alan was laughing about on my shotgun. I think he's jealous that he doesn't have acorns on his shotgun.
Actually, I want hickory nuts on mine.
Hickory nuts, that's right. That would be even better.
I do cuckleburrs on mine.
Yeah, well, it's all, location specific, right? Yeah, we could modify it based on your surroundings.
Let's go shoot these things, man.
Let's see what they'll do and won't do, I guess.
Let's check it out.
Okay.
All right, so we're inside of a modern American home. We have a tape measure. We're going to measure distances inside of this house and then go outside and replicate those distances with different loads to see what that looks like.
This is the farthest shot that we can make in this house. We're going to see how far it is. Absolute backed into a corner here. Alan is now 25 feet away from me, which is pretty much the furthest that we could possibly shoot in this house. Maybe 30 feet is 10 yards. That's it. Max distance inside the house.
For another perspective, we have here the entry to the residence. So if the person comes up in the living room and walks over here, then this is where they're going to be responding to something coming through the door. Let's see what distance that is. What do you have there?
17 feet.
So aside from shooting range distance being one of the limitations of a shotgun, weight is the number 1 limitation I would say a shotgun has.
Yeah, I would say weight, range, and round count.
Yeah.
To some extent, penetration.
Yeah.
Depending on situation.
Yeah. But like, for example, I could carry, 500 rounds of 22 long rifle in the same, occupies the same space as about 25 12 gauge shells. Just bulk and heft of the rounds.
So the targets we're using are roughly the size of a human torso, or at least my torso, which is longer than the average torso.
All right, so we're going to replicate the maximum shooting distance from within the house out here. And we are there. 25 feet-ish is what we're going to take aim at our target at and see what happens. Well, we're basically scientists.
We are.
You know what I mean?
And we need iPro or some fucking range nerd's gonna gig us on that.
I hate people like that.
But you're not wearing eye protection.
You see scars on my face? You know why?
You know?
There's a reason. Dang.
First, I think we can start out with just some number 4 Birdshot. This is a heavy field load number 4, 2 3/4 shell.
All right.
And we'll see, it's coming out of a modified choke.
That's what I'm talking about.
Modified choke. We'll see what that does at the max range that we could do inside the home.
Well, I love that sound right
Isn't it
there.
nice?
I tell you, boy,
That
that's
sounds
romantic.
like freedom. Ready?
Yep. God, I love that sound.
Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
Woo!
Let's walk down and see what's happening.
They call that DRT, dead right there.
Yeah.
Or if he's not dead, he's certainly not ecstatic about it.
That would be very bad on an individual inside of a home.
Nothing says get off my lawn like that. Back to you at the station, Bob.
So every single one of those pellets was delivered center mass on the target.
So mine being cylinder bore
Let's see the difference.
would be much more radical.
One would think.
I think.
One would think.
But I'll have to make it scientific, I'll have to use the exact same. I'll have to borrow one of your rounds. You got another
Yeah,
one?
I'll use the same one, same round, just a different choke out of a cylinder bore. Let's see. There's where the wad went through.
Much more loose.
Yep, much looser. So it's spread out to the outside of the target.
Yep.
So at max range indoors, it will be a much wider pattern, that open choke. That big hole is just where the wad went through.
Yep, that's with totally open cylinder bore.
Yep, same exact shot.
Yep.
So for science, we're going to do the more realistic range that, you know, the chances of you being in the corner of the house and the bad guy perpetrator being in the corner of the house is not likely. More likely is going to be that kind of intermediate range. Bad guy coming through the door, you're in the kitchen awaiting. And that's going to be 17 feet is what we measured out, approximately. Right about here. That is 17 feet to the target. And just for, what's the word? Consistency, I guess, we'll use exactly the same loads at number 4. Ready?
I'm ready.
That is essentially a slug. It's one mass all hitting the same spot. So the theory of not having to aim is not there. If I was careless, I touched the round off too fast, I could easily miss a torso.
How does that make you feel?
I feel pretty good about it.
Make you feel powerful?
Yeah, it really does. That is the thing about a shotgun. It's a powerful thing.
I feel empowered.
Right? It's exactly the same distance with the cylinder bore.
So significantly more open, bigger spread, but still, that Birdshot number 4 would be absolutely terrible.
And just for reference, you know, keep in mind these are significantly smaller than an actual human, so, which is in my mind good, you know, think smaller. But yeah, that's basically an open hand pattern. Serious case of heartburn, Rolaids not going to fix it. Fiocchi standard 2 3/4 high brass double alt buck.
Yeah, it looks like 9.
Yep.
Well, we'll be able to count here in just a second, but looks like 9 pellet double alt buck. And we're going to see what it does at that max indoor range with a modified choke, 24-inch barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty tight pattern. All within pretty much the 8 ring there. Most in the 9.
Wah, wah, wah.
Do it.
Now here we have it from the same max range, same load. What were we at, 25 feet?
25-ish feet, yeah.
I like it.
A little bit bigger spread, but not significantly. I mean, not drastically bigger.
The heart, the lungs, the subclavian artery, not quite that high, but it's effective nonetheless. All right, so here we are from what range?
This is right 17 feet, so, you know,
Pretty common distance
realistic
for
distance
inside the
indoors,
home.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go headshot on this one just for fun.
Let's check it out, shall we?
Ooh.
That's bad. Bit of a headache.
I guess we broke into the wrong house, didn't we? 17 feet, same load. Instead of headshot, though, I'm going to be going for the body. As you can see here, the patient did not fare well.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing about the shotgun is, so we've got how many holes here? Total of 9, we said?
9 pellets, yeah.
That's, you're basically shooting them 9 times
With a 9mm.
With a pistol caliber.
Yeah.
All at once.
Yeah.
So that's going to stop him.
Yeah.
You know?
Even velocity wise, like it's very comparable to a 9mm round.
Yeah.
And you got hit 9 times, all at the exact same time.
Very devastating.
Yes, bad. So we've figured out what our shotgun will do at the max indoor range, which was 25-ish feet. We've discovered what it is at a more reasonable, probably more practical distance at 17 feet. We're going to split the difference right at 21, and we're going to see what the shotgun will do on 3 different attackers that may be coming into our homestead. And as quickly as I can, I'm going to engage these targets. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm not going to practice it. This is the first time dry run, and see how we do. Yeah? Safety. So that's as quick as I could probably get those off, even with a fumble of the safety.
And it's entirely reasonable that one would fumble when being assaulted by
Absolutely.
3 unsavory individuals.
So perfect center mass shot on my first one.
KIA.
Very, very tight group. Complete miss on the second one. Very, very tight group. Went over the right shoulder.
Lawsuit.
That's right. And then another really, really good center mass shot on the final target. So at that range, I do have to aim. I have to be accurate with my shots. I can't just send them that way and expect this big spread to make up for my lack of accuracy.
That's a really good point, you know.
Yeah.
So many people think just, point in the general direction.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you can easily miss with a shotgun at a very close range, 21 feet. I'm just trying to get them off as quick as I can, obviously. And with some practice, if I did this again, I'd probably get them all.
but that's just the first dry run, and that's realistic. And that's even less realistic than if it was a real situation and somebody was coming to my home in the middle of the night and I was jacked up on adrenaline. I would probably be even more inaccurate with my shots.
Let's try it again with a 590 with a bayonet affixed.
Oh, yes. And that's the, you know, the missing that center target. That's exactly why we need to train. I haven't trained with my shotgun in a long time.
Shotguns are magic. You don't have
yeah,
to
that's right. You don't have to train with shotgun. You don't have to aim. You don't have to practice. That's absolutely not the case. I haven't trained with my shotgun in probably a year, give or take. I mean, I've hunted with it, but that's a totally different thing than engaging multiple targets in rapid succession.
All right, you got your 21-foot mark?
21 foot was right here at this root.
Right. All right, what are we working with? Tell us about that shotgun.
This is the 590A1 with bayonet affixed, because freedom, America, and whatnot. I'm gonna load this up with that same round. This is double-aught buck, 9-pellet double-aught buck Fiocchi. Put in 3 in there because that's hopefully all I need for 3 assailants. And if I should happen to fail on this one, we could always have the backup pig sticker there.
If there was ever a weapon that needed a sharp pointy thing on the end, it's a shotgun.
The shotgun would be the choice. Absolutely. Well, shall we?
Indeed. Fixed bayonets. Steady, lads.
Get my ears in here.
Shooter ready, stand by. Contact front. I love that smell. All right, target number 1 is dead. Target number 2 is dead, and there's our shot from the first run.
Look at the different pattern, though.
Yeah, that's a cylinder bore off the 590 versus that guy, which was a modified choke.
Big difference.
And shot number 3 has bled out. Yeah, you got all kinds of arterial issues there.
So just from looking at this one target right here, in my mind is already made up. For home defense, the cylinder bore is without question the way to go. The difference between hitting the target with a single pellet and missing completely is using the cylinder bore versus the modified choke. This is modified choke, really, really tight pattern, which is great, but you need to be much more accurate with your shots. And let's be realistic, are you going to be really, really accurate with your shots under duress when the blood's pumping?
Adrenaline is one of the strongest drugs in the world.
That's right. Cylinder bore.
And you must pattern each load with each shotgun.
They're all different. Yeah.
The only way to know is to get out and check them at different ranges on paper, see what the spreads are like.
Yep. Like this 590A1, for example, has a thicker barrel. So it's going to shoot differently than exactly the same length barrel, but thinner. So like a Mossberg 500, as opposed to this 590, has a thinner steel on the barrel. It's going to pattern differently. It just will. And you need to experiment with that, test that out before game day.
Carry, thrust, recover. Stick your foot on him.
Shooter ready. Beep.
So our little single shot here is a great gun just because of its simplicity and reliability. It's super light and easy to track around the woods with. Downside to this thing, obviously, is that it's a single shot. You've got one shot, and that's pretty much it before you can eject the shell and then reload it. So in a home defense scenario with multiple attackers, it could definitely be an issue. The other downside to this little guy is it is so light. It's convenient to carry, but shooting slugs out of this thing is extremely unpleasant. It's like getting punched in the shoulder pretty hard. But let's see what we can do. We're going to load this up with just some low brass birdshot. and see how quickly I can engage these 3 targets here and see what kind of pattern I can get at this close range. We are at the 17-foot mark. See what kind of pattern I can get out of just a cylinder bore. 22-inch barrel. So not bad. I mean, just out of the pocket, fairly quick reload, and super great pattern at this close a range. That would be a really bad day.
Target number 1.
Those bigger holes are just the wad.
Target number 2. Target número 3.
Wicket, 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 wicket.
And y'all didn't think hillbillies could do that.
What did we learn today? Anything?
Class. Well, shotguns are versatile.
Yeah.
Shotguns are super traumatic to the target.
If you can hit them.
And you do have to aim. They're not magic. They don't just ward off evil. So you do have to actually aim center of mass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to practice with them. I think that it's more difficult to be proficient with a shotgun than it is with a rifle. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, shotguns are more forgiving at given
Yeah.
distances, you know, if you're half on and half off, but you're still, you're still liable. Like every one of these bad boys that comes out the other end, you did that.
Right.
So there is that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's responsibility to it too, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
that right there, that's what I was raised on, man.
That's a good little shotgun, isn't it?
Yep. Just basic.
I like it.
Many a squirrel
Yeah.
has been placed in my pot.
Absolutely.
That there. And other things, Yeah, for survival though, I love a shotgun, man. Cause it does.
It just can do so many things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's very versatile.
Yeah. Well,
it's all about context.
Yeah.
So we're talking home defense, defense in and around the vehicle, in and around the yard. So those are realistic ranges. We shot the last ones at 21 feet. The 21-foot rule is established doctrine, edged weapons type stuff. You can research that. So that's all legit.
yeah.
Well, you do have to pattern them. Each one of these is unique, and it likes to eat certain things. You have to figure out what it likes to feed on, because even like mine's a 500, yours is 500, and I guarantee you they won't pattern the same.
Not even close.
Well, obviously you have a screw choke, I have a cylinder bore. But you could take 2 with a cylinder bore, and one might like to eat something differently. The only way to know is you've got to go out and do it on paper, to really get that data.
Exactly. So you know what it does, what it's capable of doing at various ranges and whatnot.
What it is, what it ain't, what it don't be.
Yeah, but you still have to practice. It's not one of those things that you can just, oh, it's a shotgun. Ah, I got it.
Yeah.
No, practice is essential. Even just the mechanics of it, working the safety, chambering a new round, whatever. If you're carrying the shotgun without without one in the tube, hitting that little button there, that's a small thing that you could miss under duress. You know what I mean? So, all those little
adrenaline.
things. Yeah.
And you will be under the effects of adrenaline if you're using one of these for real.
Absolutely.
You hear the glass break, or somebody screams, you wake up in the midst of the night.
Absolutely. I love shotguns.
I do too.
If I had to pick one gun, it would be a shotgun, just kind of like this one right here. But it's good to have options.
Yep. Well, there again, context. Where we live is basically jungle.
Right.
You go into those woods, we have double canopy forest. And where the shotgun shines is in that close range. And that's where most of our grocery grabbing is going to take place, and most of our defensive measures. You usually don't realize you have a problem until it's conversational distance anyway.
Right.
At least in this part of the world.
Well, anyway, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, we only spent $150 in ammo today.
No.
$2.
$2 every time we pull the trigger on these things. Yeah. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching. He might appreciate you guys watching.
I love you guys. We don't talk about love enough. You know? It's all about the love.
But don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.